Good morning. That was very good. Welcome to the 2017 GSBI Investor Showcase. In just a few minutes, you'll hear from 14 social entrepreneurs. They'll present their investment pitches. They're part of our most advanced program at Miller Center. They'll be working with us for about 10 months to accelerate their impact, to serve the poor, and protect the planet. And this is a really special time of year for all of us at Miller Center and all of the mentors who work with us. In fact, a lot of the staff have told me it's their favorite time of year. And the mentors tell me the same thing. Some even said, today is my favorite day. And you might ask why that is, because the staff are working harder than ever. They're away from home, staying in dorms with the social entrepreneurs over at the university villas. But they love it. They love accompanying the social entrepreneurs on their journeys to scale their impact. And I hope after you hear all the stories today, you'll be called to accompany the entrepreneurs and Miller Center on this incredible journey. So I want to thank you all, first of all, for joining us today. We calculated that during the GSBI in residence, there are about 125 people working around these 14 social enterprises. That's an incredible amount of Silicon Valley resource. And it takes an incredible amount of orchestration, as you can imagine, to make everything work. So the first thing I would like to do is thank the staff, which is truly an incredible staff, for making everything work so beautifully for the GSBI Accelerator. Thank you very much. I would also like to extend a very, very special and heartfelt sense of appreciation to our mentors who join us on this journey. The mentors, on average, provide about 250 hours of wisdom, Silicon Valley wisdom, to help social entrepreneurs scale their impact. And they do this because they want to. They say they get more out of it than they give. So mentors and content leads, if you could just indulge me for a minute and stand, I'd like everybody to join me in thanking you for your service. So I want to spend just a couple minutes talking about what we do at Miller Center, how we do it, and most importantly, why we do it. So what we do is accelerate entrepreneurship to end global poverty and protect the planet. And we've been working with social entrepreneurs for about 15 years now. We've worked with 730 of them in 65 countries. What we help them do is really articulate a justifiable or authentic ask for an appropriate form of capital so they can achieve their heroic ambitions and accelerate impact serving the poor and protecting the planet. The entrepreneurs that we've worked with have collectively raised over $500 million, and they positively impacted the lives of 250 million people on this planet. That's really, really remarkable. You can read more about it in our annual report. Our fiscal year just ended on June 30th, and you can read some stories of how the social entrepreneurs are generating this impact. How do we actually work with the social entrepreneurs? Well, we accompany them. That's somewhat of an Ignatian notion, that we accompany them and we help them discern their paths to scale. The mentors work with them. The mentors don't know what's going to work in Thailand or Nicaragua or Zambia or Ghana, but they do have the wisdom of Silicon Valley, how you take an idea and how you get that to scale. And that's what they work through a trusted advisor relationship with the entrepreneurs on achieving. Now, we have a lot of Silicon Valley luminaries in the room today, and we're really very fortunate to have this wealth of knowledge. It's something that distinguishes Santa Clara University, being in the heart of the world's most entrepreneurial ecosystem. And I'm very pleased to let you know that one Silicon Valley luminary, who was the CEO of Applied Materials for 30 years, Jim Morgan, wrote a book called Applied Wisdom, which really codifies a lot of the knowledge he gained in building an amazing company. And he's providing an autographed copy of this book to every one of the social entrepreneurs in this cohort. And he's also offering all of you an e-version, and you'll get the link for that in the follow-up email from today's event. So please join me in thanking Jim Morgan for his generosity. and 4 is applied wisdom. The other thing we do as a university is we accompany students as they figure out how they can make the world a better place. And we have figured out at Miller Center for Social Entrepreneurship a way to connect very high potential undergraduate students to provide true value to social enterprises that are scaling impact. That's our Global Social Benefit Fellowship. The students have a transformative social justice learning experience. The social enterprises find out something that they couldn't do themselves. It might be measurement and evaluation of impact. So please join me in thanking the Global Social Benefit Fellows. If you're in the room, please stand. Thank you. They've just come back from 8 weeks in the field working with social enterprise alumni of our GSBI programs in Ghana, Uganda, Rwanda, Myanmar, India, and Mexico. So this is another way we accompany the social enterprises. But the accompaniment actually goes a step further. We can't help all the social entrepreneurs in the world ourselves. We would love to, but we can't. So one of the things we imagined is a network of social enterprise accelerators and incubators where our methodology, the way that we work with social entrepreneurs, the way that we accompany them, could really be shared so that more social entrepreneurs could benefit from this really special accompaniment. We're very fortunate to have with us today a delegation from the Philippines, Ramona Boides Foundation and University of San Carlos. The delegation, if you could please stand so we can thank you for joining us. What they're doing and what we're imagining doing together is actually really, really powerful. It's not only the replication of the accelerator concept, but also the fellowship concept. And in addition, taking the best practice models of our social enterprises and off-grid energy, safe drinking water, and early childhood education, and replicating those in the Philippines. So it's a really amazing idea that we're working on together to spread basically the Silicon Valley methodology, the spiritual exercises of Silicon Valley for helping entrepreneurs scale their impact. That kind of brings me to why we do this. I think it's the most important part. Santa Clara University is a Jesuit university. Like the other 170 Jesuit universities around the world that are committed to creating a more just, humane, and sustainable world, we try to put that practice into reality. We try to turn that ideal into something that will actually change the world. And there's a lot of different ways to think about how you can make the world a better place. The United Nations Sustainable Development Goals actually codify the most important things to fight poverty and combat climate change. And as Pope Francis notes in his encyclical Laudato Si', there's an intimate relationship between the fragility of the planet and the poor. Now, classic development paradigms, top-down development, are very, very different from social entrepreneurship. They're government-to-government aid that basically says what we did is going to work for you in another part of the world. But by and large, that hasn't worked. And it's really, at its heart, a form of charity. Charity does something that I think most of us need to really reflect on for a minute. It makes the person we're giving to somehow less than we are. It might make us feel good, but we're giving them something instead of empowering them with a sense of agency. Social entrepreneurship, in contrast, is a development paradigm that is woman-centric, that provides people a sense of agency, that enables producer communities around the world to take control of the value chain, that gives us all a sense that we have common stock in humanity and our planet, and each and every one of us holds the same number of shares. So I hope as you hear the stories of the social entrepreneurs today, you'll be inspired to accompany them, to accompany us, and to accompany others who believe that social entrepreneurship is a truly transformative way to end poverty and protect the planet. With that, it's my great pleasure to introduce Cassandra's staff. Thank you very much for your attention.
Hi, everyone. So wonderful to be amongst these Beautiful faces and big hearts. Thank you for being here. Sometime in 2015, an investor in all across Africa encouraged the organization's leaders to apply to the GSBI. He supported their work, focused on creating job opportunities and market links to rural poor artisans because they had an effective model and because they had gorgeous products. They applied because they wanted to scale from 4 countries to 12. They had good ideas, but they needed the tools and infrastructure to develop a systematic approach to scale. They also wanted more financial knowledge to better equip them for the investment raising process. We also recognized the tremendous business that they had built, employing 3,200 artisans to create modern, stylish decor. And so Alicia Wallace joined a cohort of 15 social enterprises and was paired with Daphne and Julie, her mentors, 2 Silicon Valley executives who volunteer with our program. And together they worked alongside each other through weekly calls for the duration of the 10 months and in residence here at Santa Clara University for 10 days. They supported her with the advice to the nuts and bolts of running her business, as well as identifying a path to creating a path towards scaling her operations, and therefore a positive social impact her team was having on rural communities in Ghana, Rwanda, Burundi, and Kenya. Together, they built a robust and credible financial model, which allowed Alicia to connect her growth targets with her investment needs. And immediately after Alicia pitched here at the Investor Showcase, she met with an investor who funded All Across Africa to expand their operations to Uganda. Just earlier this year, a team of Santa Clara students, just earlier this year, a team from Miller Center visited Alicia's team in Rwanda. And on a bus ride, a GSBI mentor identified their need for an ERP system. And eventually, they identified the right system to implement, which has helped them become way more scalable. And just 2 weeks ago, 2 Santa Clara students returned from Rwanda, where they did research on the impact employment with All Across Africa is having on their 3,200 artisans. I'm excited to learn what it means for those individuals' incomes to increase by 300% and what kind of potential that unlocks for the 20,000 people being supported by those artisans. Alicia told me yesterday that here, All Across Africa was challenged to be bigger and better for the world, and that here she was equipped with the tools and the capacity to rise to that challenge. As for the rest of her cohort, 93% raised funding within 6 months following this program. And our 730 alumni have raised over $525 million in capital, enabling them to positively impact the lives of 257 million people around the world. It's my tremendous privilege and honor to introduce these social entrepreneurs to you today. These leaders are bringing you a glimpse of their vision for the world. And they've been working diligently with their mentors to develop a path towards executing on that vision. Join me in supporting their journey on that path.